Leo season. It was giving the universe being like, can you just take a moment to enjoy more rest? Leo is in my 11th house. 11th house holds friendship, aspiration, working groups, long-term goals. Almost one of the reasons why I had high expectations actually is like, oh yes, I'm gonna meet new people. Yes, I'm gonna be in a new friend group. Things are gonna take off for me in a little bit more towards my aspirations. These are the little notes that I wrote for the Leo archetype. Of course, I just naturally like to embody these because Leo, I'm a Leo sun. I love it. I take so much pride in being a Leo. I really do. Leo is also in my Mercury. If y'all wondering why I be talking like that sometimes. A significant lumination during this time was the Aquarius Sturgeon moon. Aquarius for me is in my 5th house. There was also a highlight at this time: self-expression, creativity, inner child, playfulness. I had mentioned this before. My birthday is one of the more memorable, traumatic times of the year for me. Psychological. If you experience trauma same time every year, that could be a little bit embedded in you. Maybe it's because my expectations have been so high. I genuinely feel like I've never had a birthday that felt all about me. I've had surprises and people plan things for me before. Felt like an obligation more than this is for my friend. It felt like you've done this for me before, so let me do it for you. I'm just so Leo about it, where I just want everything on my birthday to really feel like it is about me, but it's about like the stuff I like and what I enjoy. The attention is all on me. Till this day, I've yet to experience that. That's where I hold a lot of like having my inner child kind of also play a little bit of a role in this. It felt like my inner child was like, we're still gonna make this fun, right? Honestly, for my birthday, what I did do on July 25th, I think it was a Thursday. It felt full circle because I was born on a Thursday. To make it big for myself, I'm a Jupiter baby. I made sure that day was all about me. And so coincidentally, my roommate ended up staying home that day. I was able to use the car for the full day. Started off with a cafe because I love cafes. Got a little bit of my journaling in with caffeine. Next plan was to explore a museum that I first went to when I came here. I've been here for a minute. They've rotated both showcases. I think I was planning to eat at the cafe that was in the museum. I didn't know what time it closed and it was already closing when I went. Pivoted, ended up in another Cafe con Papi. First cafe I went to was Pangolin. I went to a couple of my favorite cafes. Wrote some of my story in there. Got into a little bit of my crafts. I don't remember what I ate that day. I hope I didn't just go off of caffeine, alcohol. And if I did, that would have been such a me thing. I went to a paint and sip experience, and of course I had cocktails there, but it's just my birthday. They also gave everybody who was celebrating a birthday shots. There were 3 of us. 3 is one of my lucky numbers, and it just felt so special. It was a cute little painting. It felt cute. A bee on a flower. Bees are a little bit symbolic for me. I love flowers. Bee is symbolic for me as in they just remind me that hard work creates something so abundant and beautiful. I also lost my vape that night. I got super angry about it, but I remember saying, just let it go. I remember trying to calm myself down. Something about me, when I drink alcohol, it's easy for me to get negative and angry, especially when I'm alone, especially when I'm without weed. I lost my vape because it's a weed vape. Fuck. Went into like an angry spiral. Turned into this whole negative monster when I'm alone and I'm tipsy. Oh my gosh, I don't know what happens. Spiritually, alcohol is poisonous. Overall, it is poisonous. I can understand if I could be susceptible to those energies, or even just dive down into my shadows and get into like my negativity very easily and like stay there. That stuff doesn't happen when I'm around people, which is so interesting. I observe this. It's as soon as I'm alone without weed. I try to make myself go night-night as soon as I'm alone. Keep myself busy if it's more in the daytime. I watch myself have a negative moment in the daytime. Like if I'm lit during the day, which brunch, you know, sometimes I'll feel myself get there. But because I'm out in nature, it's easy for me to kind of walk it off. Having the herbs regardless is just easy way for me to not dive into that. Let me know if you have a similar experience to that, because I feel like that's interesting. Those with a Leo in the 11th house, I wrote little notes for profitable network and high aspiring goals, natural leadership within groups. During this Leo season, I challenged myself to go on TikTok live once a day. This was a huge effort for me to get out of my hermit cave comfort zone. Throughout this experience, I didn't go on actually every day. I did go on more. Felt myself be like, oh no, I don't really feel like it, in terms of just wanting to just stay in my comfort zone. Every time I felt that, I made myself go on live. In that, I got to see the community I'm building. Like-minded conversations, or even just have conversations with people who support me. It was great. It showed me that I was open to making new connections, because I'm calling more in that in my life. So what is that to not put effort into it then? I can't say I want to build community and then make no efforts. I can't hide in that rejection shame thing. If I'm trying to make friends, I can't make people take the rejection wound out of me. I have to do it myself. During this time, I had a really great best first date experience. I was genuinely excited and happy moment we met to the moment we finished the date. I haven't had that as a first date. Genuinely to say it was a date, not a hangout. I didn't just hang out at someone's house and then they just drop me off. No. It helped remind me of the standard I want to have, continue going on dates, and just with people I go on dates with in general. During this time, I really built a legacy altar and treated my legacy like a deity. Validation is so important for connections. I had this epiphany meeting someone new, and also just having conversations with my family again. The main reason they're not coming with me into my new season and new everything is because they've never validated anything I've ever done, or validated me as a person. Validated my emotions. They've never validated anything for me. That is a huge tell for connections going forward as well, because when I don't receive that in the connections that want to be close with me, I feel like something's missing. I give that to connections. What I'm genuinely asking for is something I know I give. I see how people enjoy it. I see how people love it. Like, I want that back. My huge tell to, if you want to be what I allow in my close circle. I am so stubborn of building community of like minds to be in my close circle, because I really allowed a lot of one-sided connections. And these one-sided connections would fall short because I would just be like, I would like that back. It'd be so often that they just didn't know how. That is unfair for everyone. I am so confident I reach capacity to be able to meet people where they're at. And that's also matching energy for me. I have energy of the sun. I am literally Leo with energy. If people can meet me where their planetary stations are at, then I will shine light there too. I can also meet you at your little planet. Not little planet. I can also meet you at your planet. I could be that planet. I can embody that planet. Doesn't mean I need to be the sun in your life. Especially if you cannot be the sun in mine. I've had epiphanies about releasing pressures to save people, that I'm even saving myself anymore. Like, there's just no saving energy. Pressure that was like, just deflation. My direct community involves creations. It involves fun. It involves imagination. Y'all, to be in my close circle is to have imagination. I guess during this time, as I'm speaking aloud, since this was involving a time of friendship, I got to really see what I wanted to have in my close circle. So I guess that there's a blessing in that. Observing through all the stuff I don't want. That's okay. That just shows me. It's almost like that's my little bouncer. It's like, do you have imagination? Do you have fun within you? Like, you can have fun by yourself. Not just me creating fun for both of us. Can you have fun by yourself? I like those people. However, I am allowing myself to shine everywhere I go and around anyone. Meaning, I dress how I want that day. I'm not considering how that person will feel, how it might spark their insecurity. I really think about that. I have thought about that. In the past, I've been made to feel awkward about dressing how I want to dress around people that weren't okay with it or weren't okay with themselves. It made me feel like a little bit awkward when I meet new people. Like, most recently, I would just like cover up more and just this and that. But I'm like, that's sad. That's sad. Let's not do that. With a new person that I've met recently, I've got to witness my discernment. Through the conversations we were having, it was almost like, do I want to participate in allowing my victim to come out and shine and act like that's still my current season? Or do I want to show up in my new version as, this conversation doesn't really suit me anymore. This type of energy doesn't really suit me anymore. If it's the case now where there'll be a little bit more awkward silences because there's notable differences, I'm gonna allow that. I'm not fitting anyone to be in my life anymore. If we just don't fit, we just don't fit. Through knowing, hanging out, then I have to honor that. I don't know people until I know people. I can't assume a connection is gonna go this way or that just off of one hangout or just off of one conversation. I will just see. Though I will allow my discernment to be like, with strangers in the most recent past, I can say I allowed my boundaries to be crossed because I wanted connections to be in my life. This connection and with any connection going forward, no, I don't like doing that. No, that's not for me. I'd rather do this. If that sounds like, oh, this person always wants to make it about them, that might have to be the case because I genuinely love my energy, and I know that if I feel like I have to dim my energy down to be around people, like, I won't do that anymore. I'm grateful for building the close circle boundary, at least. I'm grateful that my aspirations are what they are and they're heightened to be what they are. I'm grateful for where my life is going, and each day can honor the expectations I had going into my birthday, and just a little girl, being like, I just want to, because y'all, I'm gonna say this out loud, my ideal birthday is to be around a lot of people doing what I love. Food part could definitely be planned with other people, as in like a general consensus of where we want to eat. I don't mind going to a really nice restaurant booked for a group of people and then enjoying that, and then everyone orders what they want to order. For me, food is so much enjoyed for me with other people. It's like, I don't care what we're eating. I actually don't mind a lot of cuisines as long as there's a lot of vegetable options, because I lean more towards that. I would be down for anything. There's no favorite, like I couldn't even say that like I have a favorite food. I was like, I eat more when I'm around a lot of people. It's cute. That goes with all meals of the day. food taken care of all day, that's ideal for me. Then I would want to do a new experience with nature. It's a nice hike that's going to a park and chill in there. Anything that's a little bit interactive with Mother Nature, and we're just spending time with her. And we're all enjoying that. Don't want to spend my birthday around anyone who's like, ew, nature. Ew, you. Don't want to be around you, bro. I don't. Painting, picnic and painting, I think that'd be so fucking cute. And just spending hours just doing that, having some wine outside, and just getting a little bit litty outside with Mother Nature, and then just coloring. That's a vibe to me. And then doing something inside at nighttime, like clubbing. Booth reserved for me. That's how I want to end my night. I think because I haven't received especially that part at nighttime, I'm just like, this year I got to really do the spending time outside, spending time around art, coloring, eating. We love to develop more of our ego. With the Leo evolution, that's part of it. You know, development of ego, development of personality, and development of confidence towards the self-expression. Me expressing myself more sets the tone of the type of people I want around me. I don't want people around me who say I do too much, that I am too much. I want people to also match that energy. Why not continuously embody that? And if people can't handle that, it shows. I'm fine being me, and I think finally owning that is... I'm hungry. I'm gonna eat food now. Virgo season brings a conclusive energy to the time of the year for me. Since Libra is in my first house, that makes Virgo my 12th house. I don't know if that goes for any other signs, but for me, that's how it works. This time of the year, a finale in some sort, purging, celebrations of all the things I've done so far this year, the releasing before harvest. Virgo is in my 12th house, and that's the house of spirituality, transcendence. It also shows where self-sabotage could stem from. 12th house also, in an esoteric sense, shows conscious karma. How you are, what you give is gonna be what you receive. These are the little notes I wrote for Virgo archetype. If you are a Virgo or have any Virgo placements, know any Virgo people in your life, see if these notes make you feel some type of reassurance, confirmation, but this is what I think of the Virgo archetype. I use these notes to embody this month for me. In the middle of the month, there was also a significant illumination of a Pisces harvest full moon. Pisces is in my 6th house. 6th house, meaningful work, relationship with self, health, along with my daily life. Those were highlighted with my 12th house, my internal work. Not just my inner world of emotions, which I classify more of the 4th house and Cancer energy, thinking patterns, behavior, all the internal world stuff that isn't the emotions. I'm gonna share what happened with me, including the influences of the Virgo and Pisces energy, but mainly the Virgo energy. A heightened trust in myself. I followed my intuition of what I want to do next instead of anxiously pre-planning moves. I was someone who operated on, I will finish this, and then I want to know what I do next, and then I want to know what I do after that. And then when I finish this task, I will have a new set to put on top of my 3 that I'm already thinking of. I had to operate like that, or else things wouldn't run smoothly, or I might not have the motivation to exceed in what I'm wanting to do, making myself literally act on 100 every single day. That perfectionist tendency that Virgos have a natural strength towards. I never considered myself stereotypically as a perfectionist in any area of my life, ever. But now that I'm coming into more of confidence and my self-esteem, I can see where I have the perfectionist tendencies, and it is within, you know, my transcendence. It is within the spirituality essence of like what I know. I have to make my next steps. I have to make the future perfect. Along with the heightened trust in myself came with the strength of my discernment, my trust in the discernment. What came to mind that I feel like saying out loud is connections that talk behind my back. It's so obvious. Okay, I just want to go into it real quickly. It's so obvious when someone's talking about you behind your back. The first day that you meet them or the first few days that you meet them, you know the energy you see with them. You have that, you feel it, right? But the next time you see them again and you still carry that same energy, but they don't, where do you think it just randomly came from? If they weren't addressing anything with you, what were they addressing anything with? Why is there a switch up from how they're acting with you? There was someone I met at a favorite cafe here. I genuinely thought we were gonna make friends. She's Laos, I love Geminis. I was like, okay, this is gonna be a great thing. I also support the business that her and her partner have opened up in terms of, you know, making a jiu-jitsu gym in the city. Our first few exchanges were great. They were really nice. It was good conversations. That's why Jenny was like, oh, I think I got my first friend here. Tell me how the next time I went into the cafe, because the last time I heard, I'm not gonna get into the story too heavily because I don't want to hold on to it, but it's more like they were supposed to message me because there were girls that go to the gym and then she was supposed to let me know when they go in next. I haven't heard back from her at all. A month goes by, my birthday happens, and she's like, oh, long time no see when I went into the cafe, and no mention of the gym. I'm not gonna bring it up myself because she was the one first encouraging me towards that. Just knowing when people make me feel like an obligation, and she was starting to make me feel like that. I didn't bring up the gym myself. The next time I went into the cafe, which was actually a couple weeks ago, she was working and completely ignored me. The cafe was not busy when I was there. Got up to the till to order 2 drinks, like 2 different drinks at cause I stayed there for 4 hours. I got a drink like after the next 2 hours. Every time I went up to the till, she would go to the back. But when I wasn't like ordering, she would be the one taking orders, or at least being present and talking with everybody, making the drinks and like giving it to them. But with me, when my drink was up, she told the other person to call it out, and then she went to the back. People think I don't observe these things or notice, but I do. I very much do. I surrendered for sustainability in so many ways. Constantly wanting to make movement and then creating stimulation from that, and then creating like, oh, I need to do this, I need to do that kind of thing. I surrendered initiating movement. I surrendered fighting my feelings of wanting to rest and feelings of wanting to spend, because I just felt like I needed excitement. I needed something to just like add to my days. Constant need to want more from doing that. So when am I gonna be satisfied? Nice ego death in that sense, to realize like, despite the situation I am in and despite what I have gone through in the year, there was that huge desire that like, this isn't enough for me. I don't want to do that. Already think what I have around me is not enough because I was living in my car. I know what not enough is. I have enough. And it's not even just having enough. Like, I do feel secure in the things that are around me and what I have. At this stage of my life right now, I truly am satisfied. Definitely chose more indoor time, being okay with where I am. Don't know if this exactly correlated, but the day after Mercury went back into retrograde, I wrote in my journal, I don't care about my passport anymore. Like, I was so anxious about it leading up to that day. When that day happened, I just woke up and I was like, fuck, I just don't care about being stressed about this thing anymore. If my passport gets rejected again, it does. If I have to wait longer, then I do. Fuck it. Energy surrounding my passport, and I wrote it down. Tell me how, with that surrender, I was like, okay, I'm not gonna look at my bank account, I'm not gonna do anything. I'm just gonna go out and change my routine for the week. Cafe on Monday or something like that. I checked my bank anyways because I like to before I go to the till, because I don't like to get declined at the till. It's just embarrassing. It was the best moment when I saw the passport get taken out. Wow. Watching myself literally not just say I surrender, but feel that surrender. For me to sometimes fully surrender things and feel it, I almost have to add an emphasis of like, I don't care about this anymore kind of thing. And that kind of attitude makes it come, and I'm just like, what the fuck, universe? Like, okay, you guys like when I show attitude, and I mean sometimes, I get. On the Virgo new moon, I have a new collaboration with Gaia. I do love to do spiritual work with deities. Gaia is love. Gaia is heart in this season. I love to work with Mother Nature. I released resentment of my family by not talking about them anymore. Didn't see how bringing them up still, even though they weren't talking to me, even though nothing new was happening with them, me constantly bringing them up because of, self-limitations and rejection sensitivity and past wounds. I would bring them up, and it was constantly making me feel like that energy, like why don't they see me as I want to be seen? But now that I've released them in that way, my mental feels more expansive. It feels like it has more space to not be resentful about anything. Own my season as it is right now. I did notice that I have such a strong familiarity of a chaotic mind. When I'm resting, it feels quiet sometimes, and that's strange because the quiet is something I've been trying to work towards. Because it's new, at the same time, I'm just like, man, it's a little too quiet up in there. And you know what I do to combat that? I drink caffeine. Okay, I'm not overthinking about anything right now. I'm not ruminating on any sadness right now. There's nothing happening up there. Okay, coffee. Like, what is that? Because of that awareness, it's not awareness. Let's just say I know I have a vice towards coffee and caffeine. I could say as much as I want, I love the taste, I love the stimulation, I do love that kick. I do know it's just not serving me. I'm in the season where I'm trying to learn how to receive and rest more. And when my body feels tired, when I genuinely feel restful, even in the middle of the day, I fight that, and I can feel myself fighting that. I will be resting. There's nothing I'm doing for the rest of the day. I'm not planning to go outside. And there was a couple days over the last 2 weeks where I asked my roommate to come back home from his shift at 5 with coffee. I felt myself kind of in between states last week where I was like, okay, I know I don't need this stimulation, but I want it. Like, I can feel myself really just wanting it. Comfort zone, which is so weird, you guys. Like, my comfort zone is stimulation. It's constantly moving. That's my comfort zone. My new season requires me to just be in surrender and rest. The way I fight it sometimes is kind of funny, but it's a little sad. At the end of all this is on awareness. I'm not gonna be like, I should have known better. Like, I know now. Realizing peace is a new mental program is something I'm still affirming to myself. Almost shocking how peaceful my mind is and how I feel. Wow, I spent the last few years fighting all this pain and overdrive. Now it feels weird that I don't have it. It feels so weird. What it kind of reminds me of, I've seen TikToks of women getting into relationships, and these were women that used to act on a lot of hyper individualism, feeling like they had to do everything on their own, and they were made to feel like they had to do everything on their own. And they would get into a relationship with a partner that made them feel safe in so many ways, and they found themselves more tired. Like, they didn't know why they would feel tired all the time, because they could feel like they genuinely can relax at any time. It's not like they had to earn the relaxing. They could just relax, which is the feminine nature, part of the feminine strength. And it's not to say, men, you don't have this in you. Your nature to rest and receive is the feminine part of you. Letting you know that. I feel myself more tired. I have so much trust in my own masculine energy to be able to initiate things, to be able to make moves, to be able to, set these foundations for myself with a vision. Because I have trust in that, and trust in how much work I've done. Like, this is the biggest part. I gave myself trust in everything I've done since leaving Calgary, since living in my car, since the start of this year. I've done so much. Now I finally am giving myself those flowers for it. Fuck, you did it. You fucking set the foundation. You know your vision. You have momentum. You know what you're doing. You can rest now. I've empowered and evolved my masculine in such a nice way. My feminine feels like I can rest. Well, I almost take naps every day, and that's fucking weird for me.
paint more, and I love to paint. I didn't even know I loved painting before this summer. Now I fucking love something that brings me so much joy. So many things that I love. So nice to finally feel like I can tap into that while resting. When I'm in my creations, I'm not like, oh my god, I need to power through this, I need to finish it. When I do my art pieces, sometimes it takes me a couple days, sometimes it takes me a couple weeks to finish one thing. I'm okay with that now. Seeing myself not rush my painting is finally letting myself see that I don't need to rush life like that. I can do a couple strokes each day, each week, and at the end of the day, like, it's still gonna be a masterpiece. It's still gonna be better than I even envisioned it. Daily experiences to kind of integrate into my vision. You can just see a really, really good and sharp balance between my masculine and feminine energies. I feel like I'm tapping into one a little bit too much, indulging in one too much, I go into the other. And to be honest, it's really hard for me to indulge into my feminine energy. It's hard for me to indulge in rest, laying down for a whole day. That is hard to do. Not in my creations all day, and it's kind of hard to do that anyways. You as a creative, you act on inspiration, and you can't just make yourself be like, okay, this day is art. Like, yeah, you can say that, but like, what's really gonna come of that? I felt a transcendence of my boundaries. I can feel when people want to be around me only for my blessings, and when they feel like I bring in something, when they feel my abundant energy, but they don't reciprocate anything. I can feel that. I am so confident in setting boundaries when it comes to treatment of me. Even if it makes someone else uncomfortable, I know the standard I have for myself. I'm not even scared or ashamed to say I'm high maintenance. I have high standards. The work I put in myself, the effort I show myself daily, that's my standard to myself. If I know how to come to you straight, I know how to come to you correct, come to you kind, come to you authentic, I expect the same back. You want me to be fake around you? Oh, sometimes I can be like this, sometimes I can be like that. Doesn't that show you are just like that? And that's the tone you are okay with. That's the tone you're setting. Of course you're gonna allow other people to treat you like that. Of course you're gonna treat people like that, because there's that sense of complacency. Me? No. If you don't want to be on your game, to be authentic, to be real 100%, you're not gonna be able to be around me. True for everybody authentic out there. Yo, it is so much more rewarding long term to say your truth, to live your truth, to be your truth, than to people please the fuck out of your days. Are you happy, people pleasers? As a former people pleaser myself, are you happy, people pleasers? I get a little bit intense about that. Either way, I'm not letting someone else set the standard of me and my treatment. No. Like, this is not even me being like, oh, this is how you're meant to treat me, blah, blah, blah. No, it's full on observation mode. Tick the boxes, like, I won't spend time with you. I'm not trying to make you change. And I'm not trying to change myself to be around something I don't want. This month's motto would be awareness of differences and connecting with the commons. Like, for example, a recent person I just met are very much involved in the military. They still do military service. They've served in the Middle East type of thing, and I've personally never really talked to anybody in the military, been in the military. As a Canadian, I don't even know where you can sign up to be part of the military. Like, they don't promote it in schools like I learned they do here in America. From how strongly they devote themselves to the military, I can already see that's a big fundamental difference between us, because I don't agree with the military at all. At all. I don't find it noble. I don't find it anything. I'm sorry to everybody who is a veteran. I just feel like if you want to serve your something, serve yourself. I knew that was a big difference between us, and I actually did share it because he did ask me, are there any red flags about me? And I did mention, I was like, there's no red flags, it's just this is our biggest difference. That was actually a reason I stopped our connection and stopped our conversation, was because of that. And it wasn't just like
military and I'm not. It goes deeper. How do you actually view the world? For me, I'm scared of guns. I'm scared of pew-pews. It's not normal in Canada. It's not. He himself, he carries, he has a lot. And even when I shared with him, you know, that stuff scares me, he was like, oh, I love that stuff. Let me take you to a shooting range. And that was that was when I was like, yeah, this connection is not gonna go anywhere for me. I personally never ever want to go to a shooting range, like ever. I don't even like playing Call of Duty. That's as much as I am. Like, no, about the military. So despite that fundamental difference, we got along really well still. There were things that we did have in common. At the end of the day, I don't want to count someone out just because of a difference. The way I say I don't want to count someone out is I am definitely not someone who wants to just hold someone on a red flag. And I don't know if that sounds very Libra of me to just be like two sides of this, but I just don't like associating people as bad or good, for me or not anymore, because I used to do that. I can say that. I used to do that as a way of like controlling my situations and environment. Now it's more like I can appreciate what we have in common, but our differences will show how much I want to invest in this connection. I don't, at the end of the day, ever want to count someone out because of one thing or a situation. That's all. Oh, this is so long, fuck. I loved that I gave myself more time to be bored instead of being so task to task. It's starting something. It's kickstarting something. I can't even say what's happening with that, but I know it's kickstarting something. Have deep gratitude for Reno. The consistency of Reno, the consistency of this house. This house is very routine. Like, I almost know what my roommates are doing every single day. And the places that I go to feel consistent for me. The weekly farmer markets, the regular cafes I go to, the places I get snacks at, the places I walk at, they're all very routine for me. And that consistency is something I haven't had since Calgary. I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful for routine and reminding myself of it. This Virgo season, it was almost like that perfecting thing in a blessed, happy way, positive way, was towards my routine and just consistency in itself. Hard to accept, knowing that there was a part of me that had commitment fear, like commitment issues. So used to doing new things and new stimulation all the time that, you know, commitment fear almost seems like it'd be just for relationships alone. No, it was like I almost had a commitment fear towards myself. Yeah, I'm really grateful for the Virgo energy to help me perfect my own craft, to help me get into the safe routine of committing to myself. For that, I'm really grateful for Virgo season. This was a really beautiful way to finish the summer. Very calm. It was very slow, but in a really nice way. Thank you so much for watching another zodiac video of mine. It truly means the world if you watched one of these. I started this series as completely observational for myself. I don't still kind of really expect a lot of people to watch these ones out of my vlogs because it does involve a lot of talking and no visual. It also involves like just so much about my lessons specifically, almost no exact relatability to someone. Maybe if there is, please let me know. Like, if you're going through something similar, please let me know. Whenever I know that someone is going through something similar to me, maybe at the same time, or can even open up to the fact that they have gone through something similar to me, it just makes me feel less alone. That's what helps with like the collective energy. Experience similar lessons. If you feel the Virgo energy, honor that. I didn't introduce the 2 pointers that are randomly here. The talent involving communication and health. Happiness lies in analyzing and conversation. I didn't mention those pointers because I meant to, and that was the end of the video. Those comments, those notes are for people also with Virgo in the 12th house. Have any relatability to any notes or to anything I shared, please let me know. We're all in this together. These observation videos I did make for myself because Astrology is a passion of mine, seeing myself evolve and expand, heal and grow through my birth houses, and focusing on one zodiac season per month, shape-shifting into that energy, allowing that specific house to have the focus and shine. It's what's making my life as it is right now, a flower, and then each birth house is a petal to blah. Thank you again. Love you. Happy Virgo.